Do you know the ASPCA ads, those ridiculous ones? The Sarah McLachlan in the arms of an angel ads? Well, if you would just adopt an animal, they wouldn't be necessary anymore. They would just disappear. Pets bring great joy to our lives, and adopting them instead of paying for them brings not only the joy of having an animal, but also the joy of knowing that you saved a life and a few $100. Not only will adopting an animal scrap those ridiculous ads, but you get the instant gratification of knowing you saved a life that will love you unconditionally. Growing up, my house was filled to the brim with animals, all rescued or adopted. Dogs, cats, birds, even a 30-pound tortoise. As someone whose childhood home was filled with animals, and having spent the rest of my life with them, I know how rewarding having an animal can be. There are hundreds of thousands of pets and strays occupying shelters, and you can help save one by adopting them. According to the National Council on Pet Population, millions of animals are abandoned in shelters each year. Today, I'd like to draw your attention to the growing rates of animals in shelters, what you can do to help, and what a life with an animal could look like. First, let's talk about the life of a shelter animal. There are roughly 5,000 shelters which house 6 to 8 million animals, of which 3 to 4 million are put down each year due to overcrowding. Right now, I'd like to tell you about Trip. It starts out sad, but could end happily with your help. Trip is a hound mix, born in 2007. He came to the shelter with his brother as puppies. They were abandoned on the side of a road, and Trip's leg was run over by oncoming traffic. But don't worry, Trip had time to heal, and he is now a happy and healthy dog, able to run with the other dogs at the shelter. But this is only half of a happy ending. Trip is still looking for a home. The number of animals in shelters is growing at an alarming rate, and as it grows, so does the number of animals being euthanized. The ASPCA has said there are 5,000 community animal shelters in the United States, and many more privately operated rescues, all of which are taking on more animals than they can handle. Overcrowding will eventually lead to euthanasia. And according to a recent study done by the American Humane Association, 56% of dogs and 71% of cats that enter shelters are euthanized. Remember those commercials? They weren't joking, and we can't just ignore them. There are several simple solutions to this problem. Dozens of local shelters, pounds, pet rescues, and humane societies have animals needing a home. And by adopting one, not only will you be saving your pet's life, but your adoption fees will go on to provide care and support for many other animals. Organizations today have made viewing adoptable animals very accessible. Both the Leon County Humane Society and the Tallahassee Animal Shelter have pictures and profiles of all of their adoptable animals. It's kind of like a doggy Facebook. The Leon County Humane Society updates their animals that are adoptable every day. And adopting an animal is also a fraction of the cost of buying one from a breeder. According to dogadoptionandtrainingguide.org, buying a puppy can cost anywhere from $500 to $1,500, depending on the breed and location. What's the fee for adopting? At most, $200. And if you can't adopt, there are many other ways to help. Many organizations run foster programs to help with overcrowding. These are citizen-based. The people open their homes to needy animals and provide a warm environment for them until they find a home. These types of programs are great if you want an animal and you can't afford one, or if you are unsure about taking on the responsibility of owning an animal. Many shelters cover the cost completely of these animals, and your only responsibilities are caring for and feeding. Some programs even have outreach events, adoption days, where you can take your foster animal to an event and help them find a home. Even if you live in a place that doesn't allow pets, there are still ways to help. Many organizations, like the Humane Society and your local animal shelters, are looking for volunteers to help with the daily care and provision. And if you don't have a lot of time on your hands, you can always donate. Besides the go-to donation of money, things like food, treats, toys, towels, carriers, even items you think would be trashed, like newspapers and shoeboxes, are useful. You can check your local animal shelter website for more information. An anonymous author once wrote, "A dog is the only thing on earth that will love you more than himself." And he was right. All we need to do is open our homes to them. Imagine waking up on a Saturday morning and you open your eyes and there's Trip sitting at the edge of your bed waiting for you. His eyes are shining with the excitement of getting to spend another day with you. Or maybe it's Ace, waiting patiently but obnoxiously as only a cat can. Or maybe it's Nibbles, your guinea pig, squeaking in delight. Or maybe it's even Malou, your parrot, squawking like a madman for attention. Whatever way you see it, it is a wonderful feeling knowing you saved a life. So to wrap this up, we've gone over the alarming rates of animals in shelters, 4 ways that you can help, and you've seen what having an animal in your life can look like. There are many ways you can get out and help, and maybe it's you who give Trip the home he's been waiting for. I know it's not always possible to adopt. As a full-time student, I'm not sure I'm ready yet for an animal, but I will be turning my foster application in at the end of today. And just remember, if you can't adopt, foster. If you can't foster, volunteer. And if you can't volunteer, donate. Thank you.